Space, the final frontier. But what if it weren't? What if we were to go beyond space and into time? The mistakes of the past erased, the future reborn, the mortal and immortal made to decide their destiny together. Time is no longer an arrow, but an infinite expanse of possibilities. Explore this strange new world. Boldly go where not even a cue has gone before.
Hi there, watch lovers. All right, well, you may have already watched my first video there with the Bulova. Didn't quite turn out the way expected, but we are going to try the Seiko now and see if we can get this up and running. This is a Seiko from 1984. Okay, we have the back off and the battery out. We tried a new battery on this watch and it just wouldn't run, so I'm hoping that some dismantling of the jewel area. It has 5 jewels, and that this will help free up whatever might be causing it to stick. We'll get it up and running again. Okay, let's go and start taking the area apart.
Fascinating.
All right, let's start by getting this band off. So we can get it into the holder here. And it's probably been in there for quite a while. Okay, that does that. All right, let's get it secured. All right, let's see if we can take the part where the jewels are off first. There. And just got to get the right screwdriver in here. Let's change that up a bit. Okay, we're going to go with the yellow on these screws. And get them removed. And if you're watching this for the first time, I am just doing this as a hobby. I'm not a professional. So, you can learn from my mistakes. You can learn from my successes. Either way, we're going to see if we can get this watch back running again. Okay. And you probably already saw that other screw take off somewhere. Just gonna... And it doesn't want to come out. All right. We will set these screws aside in a safe place where they are labeled. Call this the center plate jewel screws. And let's see what's under this plate here. All right, just nice and easy, as they say. Here we go. And got a nice little set of wheels there. Okay. Okay, I've already taken the crown and stem out. I'm going to remove the screws to this plate now. And it's a total of 4 screws appear to be holding this down. And it's number 3. Okay, so anybody's wondering how I got the crown and stem out, there's a little hole right here on the plate. It's marked the word push. I just inserted this screwdriver in, pushed down, and pulled the stem out. And we'll take these screws and set them aside in a safe place. That one's a little sticky on there. And last but not least, and I didn't unscrew that far enough. Silly me. And a couple more turns did it. So we will take that out. And all right, and we'll take this out of the way. And this plate now, we'll see if it lifts off. It doesn't want to. Part of it wants to, part of it doesn't. Alright. Feels like something is sticking. Okay. We are going to... Oh, there it goes. It went finally. Okay. And this is what we got under there. All right. So, we'll see if we can get some more items cleaned up here. All right. Next, we're going to take off the battery connector and clean that. And I wanted to straighten it a little bit to be sure that it seems to be pushing up on the battery a bit too much. So I'm not sure if it got bent over the years or what happened there, but we will take that out and see if we can make it sit a little flatter now. Okay. All right, we'll just clean this up. Bit of alcohol, make sure there's no battery acid or anything on it here. And just be sure you're getting a good contact. But you can see the bend in that there, it doesn't look quite right. All right, so I'm going to take this gear out already and see, and clean it up and put it back. Okay, let's see, get this wheel out and have it, give it a clean if we can get it out. It's so tiny, very, very tiny. That doesn't want to come out. Okay, we'll leave that be. Put that back in there. All right, we're going to go with the old adage, if parts of it are not broken, then why try and fix it? So I'm going to try and put all the parts I've taken off now back on and see if putting the battery in will make this watch run again. So let's start with the gears that I took out and then get the bridge back over that and go from there. This may be the tricky part, getting it back in the hole though. All right, we're going to have to play around with this here. So I'll pause this and not bore you with that. All right, took a little fiddling with those train wheels, but I think I've got them in there. And I just put the bridge on. Again, rather than boring everybody with me fiddling, trying to get that on there, it took a little bit. And honestly, I'm not even sure if I've got the top part of each wheel lined in with the jewels there. So we'll just slowly tighten it down and hopefully everything's okay. And we'll just do one step at a time, putting it back together and hope for the best, right? That's all we can do. Sometimes we feel like Spock on the City of the Edge Forever when the captain asks him, "Are you done yet?" And he looks at Jim and says, "Captain, you're asking me to use stone knives and bearskins to create a mnemonic circuit." And it's almost like this here, when you don't have all the wonderful equipment that you see on some of the other watchmaker videos. You just do what you can. So, okay, it's on there. Now we'll just go to the next part and get that on there. All right. So let's now put in the battery terminal here and get that screwed down. Okay. Now let's just get the screw for it. All right. Got that screw in. Let's just, oh, I thought I had it in. Guess not. Okay, back to the drawing board. Okay, well, I cheated and I spent well over a minute just to get that screw in the hole rather than you see me fight with it. So these things are so tiny. So there we go. Get that down. All right. That's one part down. A couple more to go. Okay. Got the circuit card placed there. And I'm just going to put the plate over top and hopefully screw it down. If we can get this lined up with the holes properly. And if I can hold on to it too. Okay. All right. So we just got to line this up and then secure it down. So we'll just put a little pause in here for a minute. Okay. Got the circuit card on. Just getting this cover plate on and lined up with the holes. I had a thought though. Anybody out there wants to leave a comment, see if you agree with me, but sometimes trying to do this or put anything back so tiny feels like we're playing the game Operation, and I feel like it's gonna buzz if I don't get it quite lined up, but we will. Okay. All right. Got the first screw in there with this little connector. We'll just tighten down the plate. The 3 screws that we took out. All right. Okay. That's the one there. Get the other 2 in now. All right, last screw to go in on the bridge, or this cover plate here. And then I think we can probably try a battery. See if they have any success in getting this thing revived. Okay, that's it. Now we can try a battery. See what happens. Well, folks, here we are. Moment of truth to see if all this work has resulted in anything successful. So we got the battery, new one, purchased off of good old Amazon. And let's see if this watch will run. Okay, back on. And result is it's not running. All right, well, something is still wrong then. So perhaps taking it apart wasn't the whole problem. So now we're going to have to try and troubleshoot with what we have here and see if we can figure out what else is going on with this. Okay, stay with me. Let's see if we can figure this out and maybe get it running. This is the analysis of the coil on So I've taken just another quartz watch. It's not very expensive, but same idea. And let's see if there's a reaction across the coil. I know this one works, so there should be. So we've set it for ohms. I've set it at 2000. There is a reaction there when they touch. So when we come into the coil and set on the two contacts here, you see there's a reaction. Okay. So if this coil on this Seiko is working, my understanding is there should be the same reaction as we just saw on that other quartz there. So I might come into the two areas here and nothing, no reaction. So that means there's a problem with the coil as far as I can tell. So no matter what we did on the movement itself in the middle, the coil is a problem. And as far as I can tell, unless we can see where the coil is, if there's a break, then it has to be repaired or replaced. So for now, we're going to leave this, unfortunately, everybody, until we decide on if it's going to be worth salvaging or not. Okay? Well, folks, if you've been with me for this part of the video, I really thank you for staying tuned. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to pause this where we're at the moment, because if I suspect that coil is bad in the first place, which some of you might be thinking, why didn't I check that in the first place? But it's a learning curve on all of these things. So we're going to start searching for a cost-effective alternative to see if that replacing that coil is the end solution. In the meantime, at least we all got a chance to see the inside of one of these movements and see what exactly looks like under those 5 joules there. So I want to thank you again for joining me in this video. If you like the way they're presented, like and subscribe. I've got more watches coming, and hopefully they'll be just as enjoyable as this one. So thanks again, and stay tuned because we may get this one up and running. Thanks. Take care and stay safe.